Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of the Vipers podcast. Today, we're joined by Bing Bong,
Bing bong.
Joe,
Hello, people.
and our special guest for this week is Connor from Gtathereds.
Hello.
Uh, so, we're going to get right into kind of the discussion. And we're basically going to talk about how you guys got started up, because you were originally a PS4 team,
Yep.
moved over to the Xbox team, but we'll talk about the origins of the Reds if you don't mind sharing it with us.
Well, back before I created the Reds, I applied for another team, but they never got back to me.
Oh, that's a shame.
Aww.
But
So
well, at least you're
That's
here now.
depressing.
yeah, so I thought, you know what, I'll create my own team then, and then
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
when
you tell them.
in April 2018, that's when obviously I made GTA the Reds for PS4,
Mhm.
and then obviously only recently we've gone cross-platform with the Xbox team.
Yeah. So when you first started off oh my god, wait. When you first started GTA the Reds,
Yep.
so like, how was kind of like getting your first couple of members? Because it can be rather hard for most teams. And if you have any advice for upcoming teams who have just started, what advice would you give?
What I did was, I went on Facebook and PS4 GTA community like pages and groups,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Oh, I'm interested in making a team, doing this. Would anyone actually be interested in joining?"
Fair enough.
And then that's when I started getting people wanting to do it, and I never thought it would become like what it is now.
Yeah.
Like a weird
does go a
love
long way.
story.
Yeah.
So what we can do now is we actually had some of the viewers submit questions earlier. So basically, so we'll get right up into that bit. And got some good and odd questions here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thanks to everyone who asked through the Instagram, by the way.
So basically, someone says, what will be your next big move for the team as a whole?
I'm not really sure, like at the moment, because I'm not going to PC. I've already said that. I'm staying on Xbox and PlayStation.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I kind of just want to go to more like hosts of car meets and airshows that we've never flown for before.
Yeah,
show
same
them
here.
what we got
Yeah,
and connect with other teams like we did last night with you guys.
that was good.
Sadly, I
and
was not there.
we'll put a few clips of last night and obviously
Ooh.
what we saw of your display last night before
It got
something
destroyed.
happened. However, I must say that was actually a pretty impressive display from what I saw, and it was a good evening that we spent with each other.
It was. Yeah.
Should definitely do it again. However, when you were speaking about not moving your team to PC, however, maybe if when the flight simulator is out on the Xbox, would you
Yeah.
consider moving to that?
Well, my plans are for the GTA Reds is the Xbox and PlayStation, and then I'm hoping there's a GTA 6 coming out soon. And I was going to try and transfer over to that.
That the news on GTA 6 is rather confusing.
Yeah.
Don't know who to believe nowadays.
But yeah, that Microsoft sim I'll definitely be getting, but I don't know if I'll actually be doing red stuff
Yeah,
on there.
It honestly depends if you can apply smoke to your aircraft properly and what aircraft are actually in the game.
Yeah, agreed.
And linking kind of on from flight simulators, this question is about the real world. Have any of you guys had any experience in flying any type of plane in the real world, and what plane would that be?
I have.
I haven't personally, even though I've always wanted to be an RAF fighter pilot.
I'm
But
just
some of the
too old to do that.
guys, some of the guys are. I've just been born. Some of the guys are in air cadets or have been in air cadets and have flown in what do they fly in there?
Tutors
That's it.
or in the gliders or something
Yeah.
like
And I've currently got on PlayStation my Red 5 currently studying to be a commercial pilot.
that. That's awesome. All the
Can I
best to
hire for
him.
Big Mug Airlines?
Oh,
All the best to him in doing that. So yeah, these questions were the first question was submitted by Ryan Hutchinson 04. So thank you very much for your input, and also the second question was put on by _.j don't pl. So yeah, so we got some more questions coming in. So I don't know if we briefly touched on this, but why did you start the Reds up, or was that basically because of not being accepted or like not getting an answer back from that other team?
Yeah, obviously that, and obviously the Red Arrows and all the other display teams in real life has inspired me to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main reason was because that person never got back to me.
Aww. But look at you
that's a
now.
bit depressing,
yeah, true.
honestly.
So this is a question kind of about the future of your team, and it's from Slice Able Cash, saying, "Will the Reds ever die out, or do you think you will grow stronger than you are already?"
Yeah, I don't. Well, if we are gonna die out, it's not gonna be anytime soon because every weekend, from Friday to Sunday, we just keep getting asked for displays at car meets and
True.
events.
That's good.
And we're already booked for the next 2 weeks. So,
Good
and
going.
then it's literally every day, Charlie or me on the Instagram would just get messages like, "Oh, can you come display for us, please?"
That is goals, I swear.
So, and like I said, when I'm hoping GTA 6 comes out, I'm hoping to move us over to there, but we'll see.
Yeah. Then SRT Noose _PS4 asks, how long does it take to learn the formations and successfully execute them?
It's a good question.
So we're on about formations in the first half, or
We can speak about the first half first, and then we can move on to the second half stuff if you would like.
yeah, because I see all my formation finds in the first half, like the real Red Arrows in real life.
Yeah.
Well, what I have to do first of all, for the first 3-4 training sessions, all I do with the new recruits is looping and turning. That's all I do.
Yeah, a bit like how they do it in real life from the documentary. I think.
Actually, yeah, true.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously they do moan like, "Oh, why am I only doing this at the moment?" But as soon as you master looping and turning,
Yeah.
all the other stuff becomes really easy.
Especially with the speed issues, like kind of getting an understanding or having
Yeah.
to speed up when coming just off the datum, and then
Yeah.
obviously, because I call for the rest of the team to throttle up. However, I apply full brake on the bottom of the loop so we can kind of keep, because the speed barrier is just gets rather irritating.
Yeah, it
Big
does. I
pile
agree.
of bum.
So yeah, and obviously the first 3 to 4 you learn turning and looping and staying on the wing,
Yeah.
Josh!
and then I might bring in another 2 or 3 of the guys, just so you then get used to having someone there.
Yeah.
And then they
So,
get used to that person being there, and then that's when I start doing the formations.
So just for the mark, people listening to the podcast, one of our the team's pilots, Josh, has just joined the party and
Oh, there we go.
sorry to interrupt you, Connor.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So I went for a fat shit, so I was kind of limp.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I'm sure the viewers were dying to know that.
Yeah, I was dying to know that.
I'm doing it. Kind of turns me on. I'm joking. don't actually.
Yeah, it does.
Well, this podcast has turned into a conversation about Josh's bowel movement. So when we go into synchro now for the part of it, how do you get your Enid ready for like all the formation changes and kind of like keeping up with timing with synchro and Enid?
So, what I do is you know about shape changes or the second half?
Yeah, like how you guys form back up before you
okay.
do like your large breaks or like just or like behind the scenes when synchro are up, like what are you doing to get ready for like the rest of the display, for example?
So, whilst synchro or Enid are in front of the crowd, the other section is somewhere else getting ready for their next stuff, which is like with vice versa. Obviously, they're in front of you, but Enid are way to the left getting ready for Enid rolls.
Yeah.
But what I normally synchro are like people who've been on the team quite a while. I'll only put new recruits either 6 or maybe 2 and 3, because 6 is the easiest, and then 2 and 3 is just a bit more up from that.
Yeah.
As synchro, I need to trust that they're going to be doing what they're doing when they're not on me.
And also, if they've been in the team for a long time, they would have built up that friendship and kind of like trust.
Yeah, exactly.
And like good work ethic. Not saying that any of the new pilots don't have a good work ethic. It's just that
I get what you mean.
like they're the most kind of experienced, and that's kind of how it works out in real life display teams.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, when you guys do your training, do you like train separately sometimes, or do you like all come together and like go straight for like the first part of the display or whatever?
We would come together, I'd say, for a good week and a bit, practicing the first half, doing this. What we do is we do the shapes on the runway, on the ground, and then I'll say, all right, we're going to go up, and we're going to do this shape in the air, and then normally that's when they start panicking. But every single shape I'll do, I'll show them where they got to be and how they do it on the ground before I go up. And then what I might do is I might show them like, right, this is battle on the ground, even though it's like a Blue Angels Delta, it's got 6. And then on the ground I'd be like, right, now this is Vulcan. And then I'll go up, I'll do only just those 2 until that's perfect. And then I'll land them all again. And then I'll be like, right, this is Typhoon. So we got to go to battle, to Vulcan, to Typhoon.
Yeah.
And then I'll take them up and then do that. And that's what I do with the shapes. I don't just go up and go, right, now you got to move back and you got to be there. And then the second half, I'd say a good 2 weeks, because they got to learn where they got to be when certain people are over other places, and then what they've got to be doing. So I'd say a good 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's also like different locations as well. Trying to come in at like the right angle, for example, it's kind of crucial to make sure you get that perfect hit whilst crossing. And like over places like Vespucci, sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to kind of quite work out which way you're coming in or whatever.
So what I normally do is I get them comfortable at the beach, and then I make that, and then they'll learn like the whole thing start to finish, first and second half. And then I will take them somewhere completely different, just to get rid of those beach markers, so they get used to not flying without them.
Yeah.
So then they normally panic.
That's a really good idea.
When I'm like, all right, we're gonna go to the lighthouse today, or today we're going to military base, or where else do we go? Pluto. And then they're like, oh, why are we going there? And I'm like, I need to see you guys do it without those beach markers.
Yeah.
Very small.
Because obviously you never know what
That's
car
actually
is
a really
going to
good
actually
idea.
fly. Like, I've had a car, the PS4 hate this certain place as well. But sometimes I've had 3 car meetups ask me to display at the mansion by the military base.
Alright,
What mansion at military base?
I can't remember his name, but there's like a small kind of mansion complex area, just above the main highway. I think you did a clip with someone. It was like a cinematic clip.
Oh yeah, that was the GTA the guy, I believe. I can't remember his name.
Mm.
Yeah, but and obviously where you're quite high, you're very, very slim on the speed glitch.
Yeah,
So I can't loop or roll or anything. I just
and
got to
that
keep it all down.
like that area is right on this speed barrier as well.
Yeah.
So it's basically as soon as you take off from Zancudo, you're kind of close edging towards that barrier. So it's just got to kind of keep low, and then find just about the right place to ascend, and then get out of that area as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Um.
Normally I'll take off from the bottom airport just to get in their mind that we're going in and what needs to be done and everything.
Yeah.
I don't normally take off if it's like right next to where we're flying.
Because what we kind of do here is we have separate days where, for example, Enid will go up, Synchro will go up with like Jipper or whatever, and then at the end of the week we kind of all come together and like put together like the whole formation stuff. It's kind of like the new way we're kind of like going about training now.
Yeah.
So
I
rather
do
looking
shape the
progressive.
flying together in the 6. And then Enid and Synchro will train separately. And then we'll.
Did you hear about the Sorry, did you hear about the terrorist attack in London today?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Shoot, they shot the
So-
guy, didn't they?
Yeah, the video's on Facebook. And this person's
Yeah.
hanging out the flat window and they're just seeing the armed police.
However-
Not going any more context.
We won't go into more detail
Bing,
about
can you send me the video?
that.
Yeah.
However,
I totally
yeah,
didn't
because
see that.
you have 6, you have 6 pilots, don't you?
Yeah.
Are you ever planning on like expanding to 9 on like either side, or you planning staying at 6 for now?
I've done 9 before.
Yeah.
As you've seen from the videos and everything on the Instagram. I think on the YouTube as well.
Mhm.
But it's hard trying to find 9 committed people on when you need them for training.
Kind of
So
difficult, yeah.
obviously, I'm not paying them for it, because obviously I would if I could, trust me, but I can't. So it's not a job, so they have to be there, but they don't have to be there, if you know what I mean?
Mm.
And obviously family and life gets in the way as well, so it's really hard to find
True, yeah.
9 committed people.
Mm.
But no, it was,
they can't
it
all
was
be
stressful,
on at the
but it
same
was
time
fun to get the night
sometimes.
shift. Yeah, exactly. I found 6 or 7's a good number to have them on.
7's a magic number, I think.
Yeah, 7 is the lucky number.
3's
Like-
fine.
You can still get some good formations out of like 6 or 7 aircraft.
Yeah.
It's just like also like when you can like look at a 9-ship formation, for example, from like the Red Arrows or whatever, and then you can kind of work out where you could about squeeze out 2 aircraft, so you can like make a kind of nice looking formation.
Yeah.
Because it is possible.
Let's
Which is what
go!
I've done with the
Just hit
Vulcan
300
and
followers.
the Typhoon formation.
But also like when recruiting as well, it can be kind of difficult because you get some really committed people. However, like we sometimes get the issue where it's just like they're just too young for the team, and it's like it just gets really awkward, you know, because you don't want to let people down, but obviously you can't just accept everyone. Yeah, it just gets it does get difficult for the people watching. Like, it's not one of these decisions that we make easily. Like, we have to put a lot of thinking into it.
Which is what Alpha's having to deal with for the first time on PS4 side. Because I've made him Red 1 over there, and he's done some PS4 recruiting, and he's had 40 something applications. He'd had to go through them all and pick like the top 3.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I found that really hard," and I was like, "Yeah, that's how I felt."
Because it can get rather overwhelming.
Yeah.
And like the support that we get from like fans, like it really does mean a lot
It does, yeah.
to us. And it's quite amazing, really, how people can come around like this community and like support and like prop people up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we do have some people that are here to ruin it.
Yeah.
However, I think
Stinky faces.
what's going to happen now is, obviously, you may or may not know about our kind of efforts to improve the community for the better. Well, that is kind of what improving does, making things better. But yeah, it's like a joint effort with multiple teams who really care about the community and want to just put like what they like everything. Well, put as much as they can into making this community the best place for fans and for display pilots and upcoming display teams that might want a shot at it.
Oh yeah, I've been in the group chat and you are trying to do some nice and good stuff for this community.
Thank you.
That's right.
I try my best. Some people do not like me. It's alright. Like, I'm willing. I'm open to anyone's suggestions and opinions. It's like, however, like respect is one of those big things. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's just like, please do it respectfully, and then you'll find I'll have a lot of respect for you, and I'm sure that goes for anyone. Like,
Yeah.
Respect is such a big thing.
The problem you have is, obviously, yes, it's just a game, but me and you and other people, it's not, well, I guess it kind of is my life at the moment.
Yeah,
It's kind
like
of, we get
put
to
such a
game.
long time into it as well. And
Exactly.
it's kind of that dedication and that like we'll have to obviously creating like one of like it's just such a fun community as well.
It is.
It's like some people may be skeptical of it. I've had people being like, "Oh, that's cringe," or "Oh, that's like stupid. Why are you wasting your time?" Like that's people from like FSX or whatever. That's people from DCS saying that. But it's like we're using what we have to the best of our ability for what we have, because not everyone can afford to have one of like the best top gaming PCs. Like I would love to have DCS World or whatever, and get to do a couple of flights along with the virtual Red Arrows. Like, who probably was one of the main reasons I got into this community, because I was like, well, we don't have Flight Simulator. Obviously, that's changing very soon.
Yeah. Not for the PS4
however-
though.
Yeah, not for the PS4,
Oh,
unfortunately.
that's unlucky.
Unfortunately for you guys over there.
Yeah.
But like, so I was like seeing like stuff, and I heard that the Vulcan came out on GTA, and I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. I'd like to have a fly at that. And then I got kind of interested in GTA. Then obviously I saw the White Arrows, which was a team ages ago. This podcast is about you. Can I?
No. I'm interested in why you created your stuff.
Yeah, we went into it in the first episode, but yeah, something
Yeah,
that
I
didn't
did.
really
I
touch
did
upon.
watch that.
It's something that I didn't really touch upon was that kind of the DCS virtual Red Arrows had a influence on kind of like I saw it. I was like, I think that'd be cool if we could do something like that on the Xbox, and it just happened that I found the White Arrows Eva Kingstar on YouTube, and I was like, hey lads, can I? Probably a whole lot squeaky voice, like, hey lads, can I have a go?
Literally me.
And so I like Ben and I met on the Xbox. We flew around, created quite a good friendship, and here I am today. So obviously, thank you, Ben, and thank you to the DCS virtual teams. Probably aren't listening to this because you know.
Virtual Red Arrows dudes are way more subscribers than what they've got.
The virtual Red Arrows, like just the skill and like dedication they have to it. It's just inspiring, to be honest.
It is, yeah.
and obviously this goes for like any.
How many
virtual
followers
display
do they
team,
have?
to be honest. I really don't know, but they're
I
clearly
remember
quite
my
big
first ever display team.
because they're recognised by
Same.
Frostmaster, and they've met up with
Yeah,
the
they're
Radaros.
sponsored by him.
Um,
Yeah.
I've actually spoken to some of the actual Reds and kind of
They got
asked
370
for,
followers.
asked on Instagram. They've kind of recently started up Instagram, but they're quite big on YouTube and Twitch and all of that. Yeah, it's just so I was talking to some of the Red Arrows kind of for ideas and kind of like how they actually like
How
do
have they
stuff
only
in
got
the air,
370?
and that's kind of what I've been um kind of what's kind of been pushing me in, like obviously trying to create the best representation of something that we can, and all of that stuff. Rather cool. Seems like some people may have kind of some people in the Reds may have like they say, oh, I think I've seen something like that, and or like I think I've heard of you guys, which is rather cool that like this community as a whole is getting noticed, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
just amazing. But yeah, personally, I don't really tend to talk about the team in my personal life just because I kind of I keep personal life away from this community as much as possible because it can get toxic sometimes. I just don't feel like that's right for example, my friends or like
Yeah.
my family or whatever. So yeah, I kind of tend to shut that off quite massively.
When is Flight
This
Simulator
game
2020 releasing?
I honestly don't know.
It's just it just says 2020 at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah. The developments on like the clips are just
They got
absolutely
people-
amazing.
They do.
They got people testing it at the moment, I'm pretty sure. People
Yeah.
have been invited to test it. But you have to have like it's only PC testing at the moment, I believe. Yeah, they're only picking people that have like 32GB RAM.
Bang.
Yeah, so what it's looking like is the minimum like RAM thing's probably gonna be like 16GB.
How
I'm
So
gonna
does,
take
you're
a
gonna
quick
have to have
piss
a
real
pretty
quick, bear it
good-
back.
however,
You're gonna have to have a
these
pretty good
things,
PC for that.
however, that's just for the PC side. They could kind of find a way to kind of condense it or whatever. And obviously for the Xbox, we don't kind of have all of that stuff. I don't believe. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
the
not a massive,
Xbox
like, tech
version,
buff or whatever. So
The Xbox version's still gonna be good, but
How much
I
gigabyte?
believe the PC one's gonna be that's because
The
I
PC
don't
one
know.
do have to do more than the Xbox, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like what's going to happen is, although the developers are really interested into the Xbox side, it's that I think what's going to happen, a bit like how I think Call of Duty did it. It was like basically some features came out first on another platform before it did on the Xbox, for example. It'll probably be rolled out like that just to make sure everything will be able to run smoothly on the Xbox.
I'm not really bothered if that happens. As long as I can fly my Bing Bug Airlines, I'm happy.
So what we'll do now is we're going to take a brief pause on the interview part, and then we'll get back into talking about some conspiracy theories or some sort.
I'm looking forward to
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that.
To you talking about that.
Set go.
And we're back after the break.
That was actually timed really perfectly, Big Mong. So yeah, as Big Mong
thanks.
said, we are.
Big Mong knows what he's
back,
doing.
And
This game is so annoying. Sorry.
and we're now looking into Area 51.
looking forward to it.
And a lovely fart to go with it as well. So
I just
obviously-
realised it was only in September when they stormed Area 51.
So yeah, so Area 51 is, well, most of you probably already know that's watching, is one of the most secure military installations in
Where the
in
US
in
government
probably
do
the
trade
world.
deals with aliens.
You guys don't like to share.
They share Bitcoin.
So, yeah, basically, where the whole alien stuff came from was from a UFO, so UFO meaning unidentified flying object.
UFOs are
Um,
time travelers.
Right. However, it's basically known for a crash at Roswell, where basically the crash debris were taken back to Area 51. People at the time believed this to be an alien because that's when like people were all big about like the alien heebie-jeebie stuff. Um,
Before we get into this kind of stuff, I just ask, who here believes in aliens and who doesn't?
Me? I believe in aliens 100%.
I swear I've seen an alien ship before, but it was just a B-2
Oh, here we
smoke
go.
bomber.
Drew's gonna tell a story on how he saw an alien.
Thing is, most things I just kind of like sit on the fence about it. It's like if if there is alien life, right?
I believe there
Why-
is. We
You
can't
don't
be the
realise, like,
only
the source
living
code
thing
is
in
Yeah,
this.
like if we're the only living species in the universe or in
Bullshit,
any
we're not.
universe,
Bullshit.
We're not.
That's a lie.
that's really
Nah,
disappointing.
there's definitely
Also,
aliens.
that's very, 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 very slim chance that we would like kind of be similar. Thing is, when speaking about aliens, does that just mean like a single strand of like bacteria? Is that like that's an extraterrestrial being, or is it like
I think
something like humans
when
but not
what's it
human?
called?
Do you get me?
What's it called? David Attenborough, whatever his name is, Mr.
He's an alien.
Voice that
Don't
makes
don't
girls
tell me.
come.
No, don't say that he's
Um,
like a lizard or like an alien.
No, no.
I will-
The lizard people! He's a lizard person!
But
I
I
will flip.
think when you see these people who go down to like what's it called?
Bottom.
To like in like them submarines where they're
Right.
like really really far down in the water.
Oh,
I
I
think
see.
all them living little creatures down there, like the little schoonal octopuses, where they're like and then like, change like multicolored like a Visco girl's room, like an LED light room. Oh my god, I think that they are aliens.
The thing is, we know
Also,
more
I
about
was
space than
scrolling
what
through
we do
Facebook
with
and I saw
the
something
sea.
hilarious.
Because very little of our sea has actually been discovered.
You've
There could
discovered
be
more
so
on
much
land than we
weird
have in
shit
the ocean.
in the seas.
Yeah.
We just haven't discovered it.
Because we are stupid.
It's just because we just
Right.
can't get down there.
Yeah,
Mm.
no, it's
not
very
just
hard.
Pressure and all that stuff.
It's like trying to get
however,
through
it's
the
like-
radiation belt.
However, it's like if there is extraterrestrial life or something, then if the government do know something about it, or if someone in the world does know something about it,
The
why
government
aren't we
obviously
being-
know about it.
why aren't we being told?
Because
Because
human
some things
society,
are better off. Some things are better off.
Because there'll be
not told.
riots.
human
Let
society
CET.
and
Bring
say
him
history
home.
has
You
Let
taught
see-
us.
CET. Bring
you
him
see-
home.
I think we've already got him in the party, big man.
Who, Joe?
Some things are better off
You-
not told.
Oh.
You know.
Could you
thing
imagine
is-
how the society and everyone would react? Because obviously we've been built when we were like primitive on God and religion and all that kind of stuff. If they're like, oh, aliens are real, and, like here's one of them. Imagine what that would do to human
Jesus
history.
was an alien.
Yo,
Yeah.
do
Leave
not say that I'm
Callan
an alien, mate.
alone.
Yeah, leave me alone. The viewers aren't gonna know like kind of that joke, but
Imagine the people
apparently
who
I do
committed,
look
like,
like
70
Jesus. Apparently I
Callan's
look
an
like
alien.
the Messiah.
religion, and then
Callan's
they've
an
just been told
alien.
it's not real. Can
Mm.
you imagine that?
Like personally, I'm not religious. However, like I think it's kind of like seen as a symbol of like hope or whatever, and I feel like it's kind of what brings
Reese.
people together, and I think it's kind of like an important thing that kind of needs to be kind of like what.
You know.
I don't really know how to say it on like a non-religious term because I'm not religious, you know. But like, obviously,
Religion
like,
is a very tricky
each and
subject, you know.
each and every religion should be respected equally.
At the time of your...
However, yeah, we're kind of veering off course. But basically, the thing is, if Area 51 is a place known for aliens, and it's well known, like
I'm
the
gonna
place is
explain.
the place is like well known and all that stuff. Yeah. If the place is well known, right? Why would they keep aliens there?
They don't.
It's a decoy.
Yeah.
Now.
Maybe it's just
It's
a
a
decoy.
decoy.
Yeah. And also, if like, I don't
There
think
is
there's
2 Air
been-
Force Ones.
I don't think there's been a very recent alien kind of like extraterrestrial kind of like story. That's
No,
gone on
Joe had
recently.
one.
Do you know
Um,
why? I know the answer to that. You wanna know why?
But
Because
like,
they paid them the
Aliens.
Krusty Krab's Krabby Patty secret formula to be quiet and
Formula.
not do anything about it.
but thing is,
Yeah.
but also that links us on to the Men in
Aliens.
Black or
Aliens
whatever
are
they're
Krabby
called.
Patties on
Yeah.
Mars, bro.
But what it is if we live in an age where basically anyone would just put something up on Snapchat within like 15 seconds. If someone saw something weird, it would go on Snapchat, YouTube, Instagram, anything, in like no matter of like minutes, hours,
Twitter.
seconds, or
It's
whatever.
mainly Twitter.
Yeah, true. Like that thing would go up really quickly. However, the only recorded stuff that people say, "Oh yeah, I've seen an alien, I've been abducted by an alien," and all that shit, is before I was born, most likely. So, like, kind of like, what is there to kind of, like, what is there? And also, why do most of these stories being told, why are they coming from America but nowhere else?
There's a few in
'Cause-
Britain.
America
Hmm?
Oh, yeah,
allow
there is a few in
aliens
Britain.
into their airspace, and then aliens attack everyone, and then it's the end of the world.
Thing is, why do people see aliens and extraterrestrial life as threat? Like,
Just what films and that sort of.
Because
Yeah.
they're unknown.
like, is society scared of the unknown? You know?
Yeah, like if
Well,
I saw
yeah.
Callum in real life, I'd be shitting bricks.
100%.
Basically like that.
I'd be like, oh my god, my holy father, please bless me.
100% people are scared of the unknown.
Yeah. It's also,
Honestly, if I
was
saw an
thinking
alien,
about, like,
I would
censorship
Ronda
and all
Rousey
that
it in the
stuff.
throat. Like, uppercut Ronda Rousey it in the throat.
I
Um,
just suplex.
Imagine roasting the alien. Alien's just at the end of your bed. You're just like, you got a massive forehead.
For the
You're
The
it's a
audience
freaking
listening.
planet, bro.
for the audience listening, it's like, what kind of like, if you've had any kind of
The alien just
alien
starts crying.
extraterrestrial stories, if you would like to share them in the comments, or maybe even like hit us up on Instagram or whatever, so we can like talk to you. Like that would be like quite an interesting discussion.
Always
to
feel
talk
free to
about.
ask us questions.
Yeah, always
Big long nose.
feel free to ask us questions. Like if you've got something
Yep.
you want to talk about, let us know, and we'll see if we can make it happen. But yeah, also when we were speaking about some things do happen in the UK, when I was researching, I found this place called RAF Rudloe Manor.
Oh, I've heard about this. Yeah.
Isn't
So it was basically formerly an RAF box, and was an RAF station located northeast of Bath,
Not quite close to me
between
then.
the settlements of Box and Corsham and Wiltshire.
Box troll.
It was one of several military installations situated in the area and covered 3 dispersed sites. That's just a geographical knowledge about.
That's a big word for me. Please explain.
You see, he's a bit of a sped.
So yeah, this place in the Second World War was the operations centre for the numbered 10 group, the RAF, which were housed in the buildings there. Which were kind of like, they were built to kind of be buried for protection, and all that stuff. What is happening?
What?
What?
So is this
I love it
RAF
because they call me a
base?
sped.
So yeah, this was like an RAF base. However, like
Isn't it
it's
Area 51, but the UK?
yeah, however,
Yeah, that's what I
it's
was asking,
like
yeah.
very tightly kind of like secure because people say that there's like a UFO or like alien life under the manor. However, obviously we've never been able to find out.
Isn't the base decommissioned now?
I believe so. However, it's still secure.
Oh, is it?
So yeah, basically,
This is that American base. What's it called? It's the one that has them like giant bubbles in it. I forgot what they're called. What the base
No
is
idea.
called?
What?
Bubbles.
John Bubbles.
No,
Honestly,
balls.
SpongeBob.
It's like a satellite. They're like satellite things, but it's a US base. I forgot what what's it? RAF.
NASA.
no. Do you mean
No.
USAF or whatever?
No, it's like an RAF base, but
All right.
it's like
Is it in the UK?
yeah, it's in the UK.
Like Lake and Heath or something?
No, it's not. It. I don't think. It's not got aircraft in it. It's like a satellite. I forgot what's the.
10 minutes later.
I
Right.
forgot what's.
Okay. Well, so
Shut up!
basically, in the mid '90s, basically what happened is UFOologists or whatever they're called, basically started conspiracies that there was something going on in this place. So basically, obviously as I said, it was it wasn't as well known of an RAF base, and no one really knew what kind of happened there. Just reading through my notes, sorry.
Sorry.
So yeah, basically the Ministry of Defence refused to even admit that there was anything underground at this Caution kind of base. However,
Interesting.
people would like look through kind of like the fences, and they would see like mounds of grass with doorways leading into them. So there was clearly something
Yeah.
going on under the place. So I don't really see why they would be like, oh no, there's nothing going on under the ground, when they're clearly just like blooming moulds of grass.
It was kind of in the UK. I would
Basically,
say.
the whole
it was
town of
Carlton.
Caution, however, the whole town of Caution basically sits on like an old network of quarries dating back to around 1840.
Yeah.
I remember the name. It was RF Crowton.
Uh-huh. So-
but it has like a giant satellites in it.
So basically, the War Department started getting these stone quarries for like World War One and Two, and they were put to use as ammunition storages and
Yeah.
underground factories. But basically, decades after that, decades after the war, the high security presence in the area remained. However, it was clear that the Ministry of Defence were hiding something underneath Caution.
Sneaky.
Basically, people who went to investigate the place and kind of looked around the site and researched it were reported to being followed by unmarked cars as they approached the base. Basically, a bit like how they have the camo dudes in
Yeah.
America, but obviously this is just like some what's it called?
Men in Black.
Yeah. Yeah, but people were saying that they were going to be followed by unmarked cars that were going around the base, and some people even said that the MOD had security around the area, and people even claimed that they were being observed by plainclothes security personnel disguised as dog walkers.
See, the problem with that is, right, obviously old people, not being mean or anything, but obviously they're quite set in their ways. So obviously if you see someone too close to a fence or too close to someone's house, obviously they stare at you, you know what I mean? They
Yeah.
will stare at you like, what are you doing? You're not meant to be doing that. So I guess if it's in like an old person, obviously I don't know the age of these dog walkers, but obviously if they're quite old and you're not meant to be near the base. They're staring at you. But
Yeah. So basically, it wasn't kind of just like the no entry signs and like bunker entrances and mounds of grass. Like got people kind of like interested in it. But basically, the reason why the base is a topic of like rumors and all that stuff was basically just because the MOD were denying that anything was like going on there, which kind of interested researchers more because they're like, well, there clearly is something going on.
it's just the government trolling everyone. Or telling us nothing,
Yeah.
and there isn't anything.
But however, it's believed that Rudloe Manor was the home of many like top secret government projects and departments. And it was also the headquarters of the Provost Security Service, which provided security vetting for many government departments, including MI5 and MI6.
Interesting.
However,
This game truly stinks.
the biggest rumor about Rudloe Manor was that the base was where all reports of UFOs made in England were sent, in the UK, sorry, were sent.
Yeah.
Basically leading to the belief that the government's agents in Corsham knew more about the extraterrestrials than basically like they were letting other people know. Like they knew more about aliens than like we do or whatever.
Yeah.
This basically led to it, as we described it, being described as like the equivalent Area 51.
Yep.
And it's also apparently the highest point of security in the UK.
Besides the Queen, or
Well, yeah. But yeah. Basically, so the MOD finally released documents under the Freedom of Information Act in 2010, which confirmed the base's involvement in the UK's UFO reporting kind of system. So basically, up until the early part of the 90s, the Flying Complaints Flight, the FCF, which is part of the Provost and Security Services, was the central kind of point for reports of the UFOs being made. So basically, RAF stations around the country and also members of the public would like report the stuff. However, while they did deal with reports of flying saucers and like UFOs, they'd primarily be dealing with like complaints about low-flying aircraft or aviation accidents, sorry, opposed to like alien kind of encounters or whatever. Basically, the conspiracy theorists' claims of a secret underground bunker in Corsham were true. In fact, back in the 90s, the ufologists researching the base couldn't have imagined how much was actually hidden beneath Corsham. However, apparently they're not just hiding a bunker, but they're hiding a whole underground town, is what they believe.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah.
So later on, so in 2004, the MOD finally admitted to the full extent of the underground bunkers or whatever, when Burlington Bunker was declassified, and photos of a nuclear hideout were made public. So the bunker was also known as Site 3, and was to be the emergency government war headquarters, and was constructed during the Cold War. Basically designated to safely household hundreds of Whitehall staff and government officials and some heads of public and security services for months if there was a nuclear strike in the UK. So basically, as the threat of the Cold War started to decrease, the Burlington facility's importance kind of faded, basically with it never having to see any action, thankfully. So basically the bunker was put into like maintenance in the 80s, but this is like kind of where the whole conspiracy begins, apparently.
Oh.
So, rather interesting. And if my notes will load, um, so basically, one of the conspiracy theorists of the '90s were doing like the Ministry of Defence a favour, as basically since the '80s, Site 3 had served as a decoy site for more modern secrets and all of that stuff. However, security staff at the base basically spoke out about these rumours and basically went on to entertain ufologists by leaking false claims
Oh, dear.
about the use of the underground base in Caution.
Mm.
One example was that in the 1980s, when rumours circulated about the work being carried out by the MOD in Caution was to upgrade Site 3, basically the funds were actually being spent to construct a whole new underground facility called the CCC, just up the road from this base.
Oh, no way.
This was basically CCC stands for Command and Control Center, and it's like a bunker. Basically, it was in like a former World War II ammunition place,
Yeah.
and it's like extended to the rest of Rudloe.
Oh, wow.
And it's still top secret, so like people don't really know about it, and it's believed to have links to software maintenance of the UK's deterrent program, which is called Trident.
Wow. Wow. So this old like underground base that's been described as an underground city also links to this new base.
Yeah, like I'm looking
Wow.
at some photos of the place, and it rather reminds me of GTA. You know the bunker in GTA,
Yeah.
like some of the walls and that. Yeah, just rather weird. I don't know why.
Rockstar
Like
exposed.
perhaps that's where they got some of the ideas from, like the American and UK bits. Because obviously, I
Maybe.
believe Rockstar's also in Scotland as well. So yeah, who knows? Basically, then in 2004, the MOD voted that Burlington was being used as a decoy site. In the year 2004, sorry. Basically, that then led on to more conspiracies, wondering if the Command and Control Center also took on the role of the decoy site.
Decoy, yeah.
Yeah. And basically that no one knew the existence of it. However, quite a lot of the theories were like rather exaggerated, and it kind of got lost amongst lies and cover stories.
Yeah.
Oh!
Sorry, Joe. What was this?
Oh no, I accidentally just shot Rude in the back.
Whoops.
I got a question.
Yes. Feel free.
Well, this is for Connor when we're done with this conversation thing, conspiracy
Okay.
thing. Connor, do you have any ghost stories?
Oh, ghosts.
I got one.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
Ooh, okay,
Ooh.
we'll say it after.
Um.
I like ghost stories.
Wait,
Yeah,
more
ghost
ghost
stories
stories? Yes!
So
Joe likes
not a
ghost
lot.
stories.
Not a lot of people actually really know what happens at Roslo nowadays. Have like the kind of information in that. And there's still not a lot known into the whole UFO stuff.
So the
So
base been decommissioned,
I
but there's a
think
new
it's
one.
I think it's still being used as the command place or whatever.
Oh, because I was thinking like if it's been like closed and like they don't use it anymore, why is there such heavy security there?
However, like I think some people have took a look around some of the bunkers. Like there's a video of someone walking around Burlington Bunker.
Damn.
What I can do is I can link that in the description because I'm not going to be able to download the video and put some like clips in there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like not a lot of people really know what goes on there.
We're back.
Like exactly right now, we got a vague idea, but we're not sure about the alien stuff. But maybe the Freedom of Information Act will soon change some things. Have obviously the government currently have been holding some reports that do concern the public like the freedom of information in which the public have like the right to know. However, so who knows? Who knows if we'll ever find out? Maybe under a new government, or even under this government, we'll find out stuff. But really, who knows?
It is strange to think.
Yeah.
Like it always starts. Like all these stories always start with something crashed there, and they built something over it.
Because like so many theories kind of get blown out of proportion. Like it's like some conspiracy theories can actually be like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But it's like, how can we prove that, you know? And if the government's denying it, like that's just going to lead people. Crikey, that's just going to lead to people questioning
back.
like what's going to happen and all that stuff that like they might not be sure.
Yeah.
Because you know,
I think it
politicians and all that
makes
stuff are
sense,
known to lie, a lot, and even our prime minister has been known to lie a lot. So
Boris for England.
other politicians have been known to lie, and it's just like, who knows what the truth is anymore.
I think it makes sense though, because like if you've got these aliens that come to Earth, and clearly they're much more advanced in space travel than we are.
Mm.
So I guess the only true way we would be able to analyze their ships and them is if they crashed, which makes sense for our Area 51 analog as well.
Like reverse engineering.
Yeah.
But also, what we could then think is, why are we only developing like stuff now? Like, why are we getting like further in like developing stuff now when we had incidents ages and ages ago where it was like we could have made these like advances by reverse technology, like reverse engineering. Maybe, for example, the U2 or the Blackbird was reverse engineered, and they were just seeing how high they can get it. Before they're like, hey, we can do this or whatever.
I reckon maybe we didn't have the technology to reverse engineer it, and now it's time's getting on with understanding more of it.
Yeah. It's all rather interesting.
It is.
Connor, goal story, go.
But yeah, what we'll do is we'll leave up there. And
Getting quite into that.
It's like there's not really much known about kind of alien stories and all that stuff. What we might have to do is I could take a deeper look into it, and then maybe I could invite you back for
I was
a
about to say,
discussion.
if this gets like a certain amount of views
we might have to do a kind of like we might have to touch back on the whole extraterrestrial stuff. But however, seems like most of the lads are interested in paranormal stuff as well. And
Oh,
you
yes.
did say you have a paranormal story. If you would like and feel comfortable with sharing that.
Quick question.
I'm happy
Is
to
it
share it.
a story that happened to you? Or
Yeah,
family
happened to me,
member?
yeah.
Even better, boys.
Okay.
Content.
Alright, so
Content.
where I got there, I was in my bedroom when I was a kid. Not a kid, I was like quite, I'd say 16, 17.
Yeah.
And the bathroom door, that doesn't swing or move or anything.
No,
Like,
I don't like it already.
You've got to like hold it and push it or pull it.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm playing I think it was PS3 at the time actually.
Push it.
Right.
And the corner of my eye, I just start seeing the bathroom door like open, and obviously as you do, you're just like, oh, it's just nothing. It's probably just.
By the way,
whatever,
I
innit?
immediately just
You
looked
know
at
what I mean?
my bedroom door right there to make sure it wasn't open.
And then I
I
was
must
like,
admit,
yeah,
I was looking
whatever.
at the colour of my eye.
And then all of a sudden, it like not slammed, but quite fastly then closed, and I was like, it's like 2 in the morning, no one's up. What the hell? So I go over to the door,
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
and yeah, like obviously I open the door and no one's in there, nothing's happening. I'm
Was
like,
it cold? Were you
it
cold?
I had goosebumps. I'm not gonna lie. I was
A bit
quite
chilly
like,
around the willy.
I was like, do I just close my bedroom door, leave it, or? But no, I went over there. I was seeing the
I ain't
door.
afraid
No
of
one's
no
in there.
ghost.
I left the door halfway open just to see
I don't
if it would
give
move
a
on its own,
fuck.
and
I
it
don't
didn't.
give
And I was
a
just like, okay
fucking
then.
shit.
Yeah. Thing is, it's like some things could be like just a little draft going through your house, but then it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but then
The
it's,
draft slams your door shut.
but then like paranormal stuff and all that stuff is basically unexplainable happenings. That just can't. Well, unexplainable happenings that just can't be explained, which is basically
Yeah.
all unexplainable happen. Oh my god, I'm so tired. um, but yeah. Thing is, it's with these paranormal stuff and alien stuff. One common occurrence is it always happens at night.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
I guess it's easier to
that's
hide
the
in it.
Reaper's hours.
Darkness and shadows. It's easier
Mm.
to hide in the daylight, and obviously there's less people awake.
Stop. Too scary.
So, like-
End it there.
Like, if we're gonna do surveillance on like a foreign country or whatever, we normally just do night patrols, don't we?
Yeah, because
So-
people are asleep and like. But these like paranormal beings, like they can like, but like they can roam kind of anywhere. If you've seen, for example, A Christmas Carol, you know when Scrooge like holds the ghost.
Oh, the three ghosts.
Yeah.
I know that sort of the
When
back
they
of my
look
hand.
out, and they see all the other ghosts.
Yeah.
And like one of them can't interact with like
They're trying to
Herman's
ask
mother.
everyone, the people who they told to get lost because they didn't give them money, trying to ask them for forgiveness so their afterlife is better.
You know, it's
If anyone
been a
knows the
while
GCSE
since I've done
Christmas
my
Carol, there you
GCSE.
go.
It's been a while. I've still got
Well, we
the
know what Bing
York
Bong's
notes,
favourite movie is.
Um,
No, I watched like
But-
1,000 times.
but yeah, like maybe there are some paranormal beings that do want to actually help us out, but like they just can't.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Like maybe they're not here to scare us. Maybe they're here to
Devil.
help us. But then you get poltergeists, which like is supposed to,
See,
which
I see
are
Ghost
titled
Spirit, I'm
to be
gone.
like
Honestly,
kind of
I'm
evil
gone.
or whatever.
Eight, dead, boom, dead, gone.
I
Yeah.
guess it's religion as well, whether you believe that ghosts are good
Yeah.
or it's demons or.
But
Yeah.
everyone says like, I remember when I see them, not quite often, but I've seen them before. Like full detail thing. Everyone, no, I've never seen them in my life. They're in my bedroom, they're in my house.
Mm.
Gone, mate. I am dead. I passed out. I am frozen, and I'm gone.
Thing
And everyone's
is-
like, and then when I explained it, they're like, "Oh, I'm here to hurt you, they're here to help you." I'm like, no, I'm gone.
how do we know if they're here to hurt us or not? Like,
Exactly
where,
my point.
where did we
I
find
don't
this
know,
out?
chancing it.
Like,
Yeah.
did someone just find out? Like,
Exactly.
for example, when you're
Sell
young,
your
and they're
soul.
like, when
get
you're
what
young,
you
and,
want.
like maybe if you've watched like one of those like paranormal things, and then you're kind of
That's
scared,
me.
and then they're like, oh, it's fine. Like, even if they were real or whatever, they can't hurt you. And it's like, but how do we know this?
Yeah.
You know?
True,
Like,
true.
I guess it's like back to aliens. It's
Yeah.
what you watch on TV and everything.
like, how do we know kind of what? How do we even know what's real?
Oh, the default Jesus.
Yeah, it's
Default Jesus.
yeah, it's rather philosophical.
Got the devil.
It's just like these weird things that kind of interest me. You
Yeah.
know, it's like why are these like thoughts or like it's like thought provoking things. It's just like unexplainable.
Yeah.
Love it.
I know some things about the future you ain't ready for.
But what is there any thing else onto that story, Connor?
No, that was just it.
Fair enough. It was just like one of those kind of unexplainable.
And ever
Unexplainable
since, it's
thing
never
happens.
done it. So, even in winter or a storm outside, it's never done it.
Yeah.
Ever seen Lucifer?
Just
Thing is, it's like with these things as well. It's like religiously, it's supposed to be So Catholics believe in purgatory. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Catholics. But heaven is the place where like all the good people go to have fun with God or
Mhm.
whatever, and then hell is a place of eternal suffering of Satan.
If you think
Have
about it, Lucifer takes the bad people.
However, purgatory is a place where like like it's like the in between. Some people believe that us on this world right now is purgatory, right?
Yeah.
Is what?
And basically, some people believe that this world we live on right now is purgatory. We're all trying to make our way to heaven.
We already.
Mhm. Trying to have a good afterlife.
And all
Nah,
that
we
stuff.
ain't in heaven, bro.
Um,
What the fuck?
Who knows? But it's kind of like these souls left behind, like, because there's some people saying that like they're here because they need to get something sorted before they can move on. Like
Yeah.
they're like unresting souls. Like I can't remember the term, but they
Yeah,
need
that's
to
what
get
I
something
believe.
done.
I believe that.
Yeah, they're still here for a reason. Yeah.
And
Unfinished
what?
business.
Yeah, there's unfinished business or something. And what happens then
I
is
can feel my
this is
face.
like they're in purgatory maybe, and
Hmm.
they're still kind of connected with this world, but not as much because they're in like the afterlife, but they're trying to get their way into heaven. But if they cause mischief, then maybe this whole Satan character is trying to convince them to be evil and mean so they can go down to hell and like
Save
all of that
yourself.
stuff.
Be
Yeah.
a smelly person.
Yeah, honestly, like, personally, I don't believe in. I'm not religious.
I'm an
Um,
atheist.
However, I'm open to people's thoughts and opinions or whatever.
A fallen angel.
But
That's what Lucifer is.
the thing is, I'm confused because when I did Ori, if Satan is like a fallen angel, right?
This game
Um,
stinks.
And Satan, hell is a place of eternal suffering, and Satan does that. If Satan's supposed to be evil and mischievous, right? Surely Satan would be proud of these people rather than punishing them. You know?
Hmm.
Why would Satan be punishing? That's what I don't understand.
So you're saying hell is like heaven, but for bad people?
Potentially,
I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
like,
Because the bad people, if like the bad people, they're evil, so they don't really want anything good. And then heaven's probably seen as something good.
and also for the viewers, I must say that when we're talking about this, we do it respectfully to
Yeah.
obviously like religion and that, and it's kind of like showing philosophical ideas and kind of having a conversation about that.
We're
Um,
interested, if that makes
like-
sense.
We're not at all by any
The
means
thing is,
like trying to
realistically,
degrade any ideas.
nobody
or
can explain. Nobody can explain why we are here. Really,
why we're here.
no one really knows.
And,
Like we don't know if it's religion or science. No one
Yeah.
can explain why we are alive.
and I think that's where we'll leave it there for tonight. So I'd like to thank Connor
Would
for coming out to
You
chat with
would
us.
I.
Chat
Not
with us,
gonna
chat with
lie,
us
but I've
this
actually
evening.
really enjoyed this.
Um,
And
so-
shout out to Gtathereds.
yeah, shout out to
Yeah,
GTA
GTA
Reds. Go
Reds.
check out their
Yeah,
YouTube channel.
shouts out,
Although,
shouts out to
although,
motherfucking Reds, bro.
although,
There we
I
go.
don't know.
Here's Josh starting off.
I don't
The better
know
Reds.
I don't know how much that will help you guys because you're way bigger than us.
Well, we don't have fame anyway, so it's all just.
Yeah. But honestly, if you haven't heard of these guys, go
Aye.
give them some
Yeah.
support.
Mhm.
They honestly really
Aye.
deserve it. Bunch of great people.
And the commentator.
The ghost.
Yeah. So thank you very much for tuning in. We very much hope you enjoyed. Yeah. If any of you have any ideas or want to add your thoughts onto anything we've said this evening, you're more than welcome to do so in the comments. And also, if you would like to share your opinions, I will back you up. And if anyone tries to downgrade them because everyone is entitled to an
Okay,
opinion,
team.
whether you're right or wrong. However, yeah, I'm not going to go into that. Have a good evening, folks.
See ya.
See ya. Thank you, Connor.
Remember.
Did you end it? Have you ended it yet?
Not yet.
Okay, I gotta.
Oh.
Alright. See you in a little bit.
Bing bong.
See you in a bit, folks.
Bye, lads.